Hey guys, so welcome to the end of 2022. I always do an end of the year recap. I always did it for myself. Last year I did one for YouTube. Uh, Usually I do this like on the 31st of December. Today is actually the 28th, and I'm probably not going to do the whole thing. So I'll do some today, some tomorrow, whatever. But this first section is going to be kind of long, I guess, and I'm bored, so I figure I'll just do it. The first section I ever cover in my end of year pool recaps is the equipment that I use. And for me, mostly that's cues that I get. I do a lot of cue videos. I don't want to be the cue video channel though. I want to be, I don't know, the semi-senile old fart that talks about pool channel. But got to cover the cues, and so that's what I'm going to do. Um, I've got a bunch in 2022. Uh, I think I maybe have a slight problem. I may need to see about getting therapy or something. But I haven't bought one since August. So I've talked about all these before in various unboxing things. These first four are going to be some I bought at Derby City Classic last January. And to just go over them pretty quickly, this is my Pierce. Really nice. Came with a Killwood shaft, and then I bought a Synergy 15K shaft that also fits on it. Not a main cue, just a shoot with it every now and then. Once I pledged that I was only going to play with my new main cue until after Derby City. So none of these other cues, I haven't had a ball with any of them. And after Derby City, I will do that. This Killwood shaft is not too bad. Maybe combined with the butt, whatever. But I haven't had really good experience with some other Killwood, notably my Divinity. But this one isn't bad at all. There's nothing great about it. It's just a cue. It looks a little bit weird with the color, but what are you gonna do? I also bought this Joss Sneaky Pete. The only reason I bought this is because I had my high run in straight pool with a cue like this one back in 2002 or something like that. And the nostalgia purchase, like all of my Joss cues, this one hits absolutely fantastic. Among my top 5 best hitting cues. This cue here I also bought at Derby City, and this is my prettiest pool cue. This is my Pete Oman. The only thing I don't like about this cue is I would prefer a stainless steel joint. For as pretty as this thing is, I don't know, it doesn't hit as well as I had hoped. Or this could very well have been my main cue. It's every time I see it, I'm like, wow, I own that? Really? Seriously? You own that? Yeah, I do own this. And I'm looking forward to shooting with it again. And the last one I bought at Derby City this past year, this is just a N7 Color Money Joss. I had Steve Blackburn put an elephant ear wrap on it. And look, on my Josses, hits absolutely fantastic. This is either my best hitting cue or second best hitting cue right here. And who would have? I just bought it because I remember back in the '80s when the Color Money came out. I was like, well, that's kind of a pretty cue. It's the only reason I bought this thing. The reason I bought these 4 cues at Derby is right before Derby City, I won a Joss West. And I never had it in my possession. I saw pictures of it and I said, well, that's way too fancy for me. I'm not worthy. So I sold it, and I used that money to buy these cues at Derby City. I could put a picture of the Joss West up, but I don't think I'm going to bother with doing that. Maybe I will. If I do, it'll be like here. If you didn't just see a picture, then I didn't feel like doing it. In February, I had a birthday, my 57th birthday, And I wasn't really going to buy a birthday present for myself because I just bought all these damn cues. But this came up for sale. And this is a Rundy era Sean with the sharp points. Over here's, see, I'm pointing at the damn thing again, at the screen, instead of the lens. Anyway, I just really like this cue, and I played with it for a week or two thinking that this might actually become my new main cue. It might unseat the Southwest I had been using. And as it turned out, it just wasn't as consistent as I would have hoped. Part of that is almost certainly because I did decide that it was going to have a low squirt shaft on it, and that's what it has. But the stock shafts that came with this thing, yeah, they were basically beyond repair by me. I could not clean them enough to. Would have been embarrassing to shoot with. Let's see, what do I have next? Yeah, so this one, when did I buy this? I've got it written over here. So I bought this in March. Just saw it on Facebook, liked it. Still like the looks of it a lot. This is a Joey Chin. Where does he put that? Joey Chin cue. Once I got it, then I saw that some of the finish around the joint here is screwed up. I believe because whoever had it before me didn't bother to have a joint protector. And I have not been able to get it repaired. Joey Chin felt like I was being a big baby when I said I want this fixed. And the local cue maker that I asked, he kind of ghosted me. So it's a, and you know, I said in another video about this cue, looks fantastic from here, but from here not so much. And there it is, and it hits all right. Most of the stuff I have either hits great or hits all right. This is an all right. Okay, so then in May, I got this. This is a Tascarella. And as I mentioned in the unboxing for this is a bucket list cue for me. I've wanted a Tascarella basically since I found out they existed. I wanted one. And yeah, I got this. I guess you could see the Tascarella where he signs it there. And it had a scratch in it. And it actually had a brown bumper. So I contacted Pete Tascarella. I think it was Pete Jr. I was talking to about this cue. And so I shipped it back. And he fixed the scratch and he replaced the bumper. And he said he was going to do something with the wrap. He said there was something wrong with the wrap. And he was going to fix it. I didn't ever know what he did with it. But whatever it was, I appreciate it. I liked this. And again, this had a chance to unseat my Southwest as well. Both of the shafts that came with this cue, you're not even going to be able to tell from the picture, but it's thicker here than it is here. And then it starts to get thick again. So it's like somebody went nuts with sandpaper right here or something on both shafts. And I did confirm with Pete Tascarella, no, that's not the way they came from his shop. That's not the way he makes his shafts. And I didn't know because I'd never had a Tascarella before. This one plays really well, though. Despite that fact, it does squirt quite a bit, but it's something I could have gotten used to. Like I said, I gave this cue serious consideration to becoming a main cue. While I was giving that some serious consideration, this guy came up on Facebook and just, wow, this is a Cohen. And I don't know if the colors really show up, but there's like turquoise, purple, whitish, turquoise, purple. There's that. Everything is just fancy, but still, somehow fancy, but still plain. Still kind of like old school type looking cue. I already had the Spanish Bull wrap on it, which is my favorite leather wrap now. It used to be Boar's-Hide, now Spanish Bull. Like everything about this cue, except I would prefer a stainless steel joint. And this cue hits okay. There's nothing wrong with it. Yes, I have a lot of cues that hit better. This was never really a consideration to become a main cue. Maybe I briefly thought it might be. If I'd shot with it and it hit fantastic, then maybe it would have gotten more serious consideration. But it really didn't. I was still experimenting with that Tascarella. Is that going to unseat my Southwest? Is that going to unseat my Southwest? And about that time, when did I buy this? I can't even read the thing. Oh, in July. So I just bought, this is a J Handschuh jump cue. I just wanted to get, a real jump cue. The jump cue I have that I'd been using before, I don't really use them, but the one I had is a bungee jumper from around the turn of the century. I wanted a newer one, and this is definitely pretty. And J Handschuh is always one of the sponsors for all the tournaments where I watch pay-per-view and stuff. So he's given to the community. I'll give back to him, by buying his stuff. And that's what I did here. It jumps a hell of a lot better than my bungee jumper, but I'm still not a very good jumper. A lot of times I can clear the obstructing ball, but the good guys out there now, they're clearing the ball and then making the shot and drawing back or getting whatever shape they need. With a jump cue, no. If I get a good legal hit, that's good for me. So while I was still messing with that other Tascarella and about ready to go on vacation to New Orleans, I'd kind of decided, no, I'm going to take my Southwest, my main cue, to New Orleans for vacation. I'm going down there for a week to play. People like Tony Chohan and other top players. And I'm going to go down with the cue I've been playing with for a year. 2 days before, 2 days before, I was going to New Orleans. This guy comes up on Facebook. This is another Tascarella. And this one has the stainless steel joint, which I wanted. Feeling like, while my first Tascarella hits pretty good, one with a stainless steel joint might hit better, and that's what I wanted. I've talked about wow cues. I wanted a wow cue. I wanted a wow cue to be my main. My Southwest is not a wow cue for me either. It just hits really good, but not wow. So this guy came up for sale. I was like, well, that's cool. I want it. I couldn't afford it and go on vacation. So I messaged the guy. I wanted to make 2 payments. And we went back and forth as far as there was a communication error, which was all my fault. But he was like, yeah, we'll just do that. And as it turned out, I could just pay him all at once because it took us long enough to get in touch with each other on any kind of regular basis. And so I got this. And I got this in August. It had a lizard skin wrap on it, which looked perfectly fine. I pretty much decided that I like the boar's hide wraps. So I shipped this to Tascarella's shop to replace it with boar's hide. And I got it back the end of August. And this has been my main cue ever since. This did unseat my Southwest. And I did a little pledge to myself that I will not hit a ball with another cue except if I have an unboxing with anything but this until Derby City. I've probably broken that rule a couple of times. Like when I got the J Handschuh out, I did try that several times and whatever. But at the Southwest will take an extension. This one will not. I was going to ship this back in December to get an extension put on it. Tascarella makes extensions now for his cues. But with the weather and the holidays and all that, I decided I didn't want to risk this being gone for a month right before Derby. So right now my plan is, well, hell, plus I had a plumbing disaster in my house that cost me thousands of dollars to fix. So I'm glad I didn't spend money on getting the extension. My plan is after Derby City to ship this and the other Tascarella to New York to have them fit the bumper to accept an extension and sell me one of their extensions. So that'd be cool. This is my main cue, and this time last year, I'd had my Southwest for about 5 months, and I stood up here and I'm like, I feel like I'm still getting used to it. I don't feel like I'm used to it yet. This one I'm used to. I think I've played a lot more with this now than I played with the Southwest, through the same period of time. But also, more. This is more like the cues I've been playing with for 40 years than my Southwest. My Southwest, it's just different. It just, I don't know if I can be more scientific than it's just different, but that's the case. So yeah, this is my main cue, and I'm not going to say, oh, this is my main cue for the rest of my life. I'm not going to do that. God, there was a Zamboni that Tony Chime was raffling off. I wanted that. I wanted it. I did not win it. Clearly. And quite frankly, it broke my heart because it was a Barry Zamboni, and it was beautiful. And I wanted it, and I didn't get it. Damn it. There was another Zamboni. A guy in Greece had it for sale. And I wanted that, but I don't know. I got all paranoid all of a sudden about international shipping, and if there's ivory in the queue, do I have to go to Guantanamo Bay because I got something with ivory? I just got all paranoid, and he probably sold the queue to someone a little bit more local than he is. So as far as equipment goes, I didn't buy any new cases like for myself this year. I still use my It's George case. But I did buy I already had a J Flowers 3x5 in burgundy. I bought a J Flowers 3x5 in black, and also bought a Predator 4x8 case. And then I had a giveaway for YouTube. When I got to 500 subscribers, I drew some names out, and I gave away, it turned out, the black J Flowers case and the Predator case. So I briefly own them. Another cue I briefly own is a Palmati that I forgot about, and I got it in June. I had it for a couple of days. I did an unboxing. Wasn't in my wheelhouse as far as looks go. And while I can't have 40 main cues, I want cues that I think look good. And I'm not saying this Palmati cue didn't look good. It just wasn't in my taste buds. If I had unlimited money or whatever, and went in and saw that, I wouldn't have bought it. I just wouldn't have. So I sold it. I think I sold it to the guy that. I think I sold it to a previous owner of that same cue, and he wanted it back. So that was cool. I did have it in my possession briefly. And the other change that I made, which isn't really, well, none of them are very exciting, is I have switched shop. I shot with Master like everybody else forever, and then I shot with Triangle for 4 or 5 years, I bet. And that was just because of an Amazon shipping mistake. But I like the Triangle just fine. Here over the last few months, I switched to the Talon V10. And I don't know. I mean, all the hype about this chalk, as far as I'm concerned, is absolutely true. Absolutely true. Doesn't get on the cue ball. Doesn't dirty the cloth. They're not a damn sponsor. And this has seen 4 or 5 hours a day of play since I switched to it. And you can hardly tell. You can hardly tell that it's been touched. It's going to last me forever. But that is the equipment, the physical equipment side of my 2022 year in review. I don't have anything else in flight, so it's not like I'm going to get a cue in the mail tomorrow and I got to remake this video or whatever. I have a bunch of other categories that I always cover on my year in reviews, and I'll do that, but I'm just not going to do it right this second. So where's my button at? There it is. Later.